You want to red and black. Who want to choose? Red. Black. Still receive or two side? You receive. Side. That side. You have 2 minutes of warming up. Broken. Listen, yeah?
And welcome back to the 2016 TMS College Table Tennis Championships in super duper Round Rock, Texas. I'm Kevin Korb alongside Andy Nguyen, and we're here for a team match between the home team, University of Texas, and McGill.
Yeah, Felix right here, Felix Chan playing for UT Austin, is rated at 2387. Originally from Hong Kong, he actually started playing at the age of 6 before going to California. And you know, earlier in his years when he started playing, he played with the likes of Peter Lee, Grant Lee, and Erica Chen, who, you know, all in their own respects are very high-level rated players.
I'm interested to see how it plays out over this match, whether the Texas team has a home court advantage. They're only from about 20 minutes away. These players are sleeping in their own beds.
Unlike pretty much everybody else here. On McGill side, we have Ling Yang, rated at 2312. So both very high-level players.
Definitely. This team from McGill is the #1 team in the Canada East Division this year. Very strong. They've got 3 players over 2,000. It'll prove a very fun and exciting match for the Texas players as they fight against McGill.
Mm. 1-1 as we start off the game here. Missed on that forehand side. And that was a very heavy topspin as the ball just sinks straight down to the floor.
High spinny opening backhand from McGill's player, Ling Yang, but handled well by Felix Chan from Texas.
Good serve. Long serve to the backhand side.
From this wide court view that we just cut away from. In the stands, you can see the Texas supporters. As the match goes on, if we end up tight, I'm sure we'll hear lots of cheering and support as they try to drive their home team to a victory here.
5-4. Felix with the serve. Oh. Misread off that serve and popped straight up.
A good flip from Ling as the Texas player places that ball short, but a little bit too high. And you end up with balls even just a few inches high, really. It can turn the tides at that point and let your opponent catch the advantage and open an attack.
Ooh. Good read from Felix as he returns that from the backhand side. You know, I think we have a trend going on today with interesting choice in shoes. As you see Felix with the blue and pink.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a pair of those. A very controlled, composed strokes from Felix.
Yeah.
No unnecessary movement there. It allows him to stay balanced and hit those consistent shots he needs.
Ooh.
And a little too complacent there.
Yeah. And you could see that McGill took advantage of that and gave a really strong right hook.
Definitely. Felix opted for a higher spinny ball. He appeared to put some side spin on, trying to have it kick out from the table. But Ling capitalized and put it out wide back past Felix's forehand. A very spinny underspin push.
Yeah.
Underspin push.
And Felix is fending off 4 game points right now.
Oh, and a lucky break. Ling manages to dig the ball off the edge of the table. That's a very, very tough shot to do. Impressive for him to get that back, but turned the advantage to Felix with a ball high up in the air like that, and he controlled it easy down the line for the first game, 11-6.
And I noticed, you know, both of these players are very almost mid-distance player. As you see, like, you know, right off the point, they start moving back a little bit more.
Definitely. That's a good, definite contrast compared to Isabel Chu, who we saw in the last match, who was very much a perfect example of the close-to-table player taking the ball low off the bounce. These players prefer that mid-distance game, smooth, consistent stroke. They want their forehand two-winged loop or their backhand loop as well.
And both these players, from what I can see, are playing a much more spin game, a much more reserve, as opposed to a speed game. Again, like we saw last with Isabel.
You have to wonder how much of that slower game aspect is due to them feeling each other out in the first game, not wanting to give away too much, and looking to get the insight they need to take the game as the match goes on.
It's McGill serve. Game 2. Good inside-out forehand. Good placement deep into McGill's backhand.
Ooh. There you can see those players who do want that mid-distance attack. Often instead of that quick flip close to the table when the ball remains short, you'll see a few pushes back and forth, trying to force an error from the opponent, have them push the ball up a little high so they can step back and open an attack.
Oh, great hooking forehand from Felix over there.
Yeah, that kicked him wide, 10, 15 feet out from the table to the side. Oh, beautiful play. With Ling moving back from the table, retrieving a few lobs before Felix puts it away with a smash, and you'll see here on replay those powerful shots that Ling handles.
Wide open table, nobody home. And this time, it's Ling with the more aggressive attitude. Lucky break from the net there, putting Felix up 5-2 in game 2. Missed opportunity as the ball just goes a little bit shorter than Ling expected it.
Definitely. That's a hard shot to hit still, though. A lot of spin coming at him from his opponent, but good on him for the attempt.
You can see a really heavy topspin ball from Felix.
And we can see on table 2, game point to Texas player Graydon Cook as he leads 1-0, up 10-7 in the second game.
Wow. Fast backhand from Felix Chan. As he leads 9-3. You can see from Felix's push, he adds a little bit of side spin, hooking it just a little bit out to the forehand side. And that, that tiny bit of side spin makes it so much more difficult for the opponent to return it. And he's fending off 6 game points now, Felix is. And Felix takes game 2. Now going into game 3, what do you think that Ling has to do to change up his strategy in order to come out on top for the next game?
Definitely. First off, he's playing against a very strong Texas opponent who's right now playing very much his style of play, that controlled mid-distance attack. He's looping smoothly and really placing the ball on the table where he wants to. I think Ling, if he wants to make a run at this match, is going to need to try something different, change some pace, perhaps mix in some quick punches with a slower looping game and try to confuse his Texas opponent. He had some success in that lobbing point before eventually losing it we saw earlier. Perhaps we could try to mix in, if I were his coach, not necessarily a full-out lobbing game, but allow himself to be a little more comfortable moving away from the table.
Perhaps a little more variation.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, change the pace on Felix.
Ooh, ball goes long.
And on table 2, we have Graydon Cook up 2-0, 5-3 in the third game. 6-3 now as he wins that point on a powerful forehand attack. Wow.
Smashing forehand from backhand side.
Rockets that down the line.
Yeah. Look at that slow-mo. That thing's fast even in slow-mo. Ooh. Good forehand from McGill. Good rally. And you see McGill's really trying to pick up the pace here and being a little bit more aggressive in his game, and it paid off.
Notice in that slow motion replay how smooth Felix still is, even in that miss. There's no wasted movements in his stroke.
And you start seeing a little bit more liveliness from both players.
A swing and a miss. Strike one.
Oh, I believe that was out and hit the side of the table. Five in game 3.
Very excited to get that point, Felix is.
And McGill right now has to step it up a little bit because this is game 3 right now. If he does not succeed, then he will not move on to have a victory.
As the score is tied at 6-6. If I'm Felix, I want to finish this out in 3 games. I don't want a 4th game. I don't want a 5th game. I want to be quick, finish this, move on, let my teammates play, help coach them to victory, and not waste energy when I don't have to in this long tournament.
I agree. And you You could see he was gearing up to hit that forehand, but goes just short of the net.
And on table 2, we've had Graydon Cook clinch that first win for Texas over Isaac Chan of McGill with a 3-0 straight set victory.
Both players keeping this game close and not letting each other get too far of a lead.
Forcing him to the backhand side. Notice how McGill's player jumped before the ball came to him. He cheated to the forehand side and was off balance and couldn't get that backhand. That extra movement before he takes the shot is exactly textbook what you don't want to do, and something that his opponent Felix is so good at. We'll see in the coming points, I'm sure, how relaxed and calm Felix is. We have match point, 3 match points to Felix Chan of Texas.
You know, Felix reminds me a lot of Grant Lee and his composure when he plays. Almost a stone face, but once he gets riled up, man, he keeps going.
For those of you who don't know, Grant Lee was a former USC table tennis player, a former, I believe, 2-time bronze medalist in singles at the NCTTA championship and former doubles champion along with partner Justin Huang.
9-10.
So we see a bit of life from Ling.
And timeout called up by Felix, I believe. And I think that's a great move, stopping the momentum of Ling.
Definitely. You're up 2-0, like we talked about earlier. He doesn't want a 4th match.
Right. He wants to keep this pretty much done and over with.
If you're thinking about this match and trying to win in 4, maybe you don't call a timeout there. You save your timeout for a later game if it's tighter. But a game like this, he wants to wrap it up, move on, and let his Texas teamouts close out a victory.
I agree.
But Ling from McGill doesn't want to do that.
No.
Doesn't want that to happen.
Certainly not.
And he's fighting. We've seen the last 2 points to not let that happen. We'll see what he can come out with out of this timeout.
Let's see if that timeout was effective.
Wow. A beautiful, low, spinny forehand shot from Ling. Felix can't handle that low height and puts it into the net to force deuce in this 3rd game. And he has game point here in the 3rd.
I'm not sure, but I think his nerves are getting to him right now.
Yeah, no timeouts left for Felix. Can Ling close?
Ooh.
And he does it.
Ling closes it out. It is 1-2 right now.
Taking that 3rd game 12-10.
Going into game 4, you know, talking about when we were reviewing it earlier, I think in game 3, Ling was very effective in terms of varying up his serves and even his returns, and I think Felix had a very tough time with that. As we saw in the last point, especially that low topspin hit, it was very difficult to return.
Definitely. And that's the variation. We've seen a lot of versatility from McGill's player, Ling. He's been away from the table lobbing. We've seen that closed table, very low spinny loop. He's got a lot of weapons to throw at Felix. And in the third game, that really paid off.
Over on table 2, we have Andrew Chen from Texas.
Actually, one correction. It will be Pulak Goswami of Texas and William Liu of McGill. One more correction. It is, in fact, Andrew Chen of Texas and Natasha Carr-Harris of McGill University beginning their match on table 2.
Ooh, back on table 1. Ling from McGill is all fired up and starting off strong with 2 points.
And note that quick, powerful attack to the forehand in the replay.
Yeah.
And he jumps out to a strong start, taking a 3-0 lead in this 4th game.
Backhand goes, clips just the top of the blade, and the ball goes flying out of the court. Wow, that was a very heavy underspin ball as that ball just sinks straight into the net. I think McGill misjudged the spin on that ball as the ball goes flying out. This time it's Felix. It's Felix with a low topspin ball, making it hard to McGill to return. And we start seeing Felix having a little bit more momentum as he leads 5-4 right now.
Yep.
And this is a tight game. This game has been 1-1 for each player.
Wow.
And that ball was out, I believe.
It clipped an edge, we've decided.
All right.
Point to
Point to Felix. No, I'm sorry.
point to Ling.
Yes. Ling at 6-5.
From our angle, We had an okay view in the commentator booth, but the umpire on that other side of the table is hard-tasked to catch that edge ball on the offside.
Over on table 2, we have Andrew Chen taking a victory over Natasha, making it 1-0. And he misses that forehand just a little bit.
Back and forth, neither athlete able to pull away. Just like he didn't want a 4th game, Felix does not want a 5th game.
Clips just the top of the net and goes long on the table. You know, you really can't judge how much spin there is on the ball after it clips that net.
As Ling pulls ahead to a 9-7 lead, it looks like Felix is letting nerves get to him a little bit. You can see his initially very, very calm expression. Now starting to see a little bit of worry on his face. Wow!
Great point there.
We hear a squeal of excitement from the crowd.
And we can see that point again.
We'll see that big forehand clip the net, shuffle his feet, and manages to regain balance and backhand punch it down the line. And he's done it. Forced a 5th game against Felix Chan, taking that 4th game 11-7.
So, like, going into 5th game, I really think Felix has to up his mentality game right now because, you know, like you said, his nerves are getting the best of him.
That's a good point to bring up. After, especially for a player so calm and collected in the first 2 games, you can see, well, I think you can see it most notably in his footwork, as opposed to the first 2 games where he was very stable, steady. Necessary movements we saw in those last 2 points, his feet kind of jiggle up and down in between side steps. That's a necessary movement, and that extra movement, that extra footwork is wasted time that isn't spent moving towards the ball.
Over on table 2, we have 4-6, and McGill is down 1 game right now.
Andrew Chen of Texas hopes to take this 2nd game like he did the first.
Natasha is still holding in there, though, 5-6.
Oh my God. Powerful backhand, 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 backhand battle on table 2. Andrew Chen is the eventual winner of that rally. And Ling strikes first in the 5th. It's good to see, though, Felix's aggression there, even on the missed shot. If he can get that into his groove, I'm sure he'll be able to play more steadily as the game goes on. It's still early. Better to take that risk now on 0-0 than wait for 8-8.
Right. To a certain degree, I think that he has to go back to his roots a little bit and go back to that controlled game that we saw in game 1 and 2 where he got his victory.
Exactly. As opposed to Felix moving Ling around the table like we saw in 1 and 2. Games 3 and 4 saw Ling really working Felix, moving him side to side.
And that was a great point, as we saw right there, as McGill misses that forehand.
frustration on Felix's face, talking to himself, trying to calm himself down, shaking his head in frustration.
As a reminder, Felix has no more timeouts left. Ling has yet to use his timeout.
That's a good point to bring up. Since that timeout use didn't pay off in that third game, you do suffer in the fifth where you could use that timeout, and it would be very beneficial. On table 2, we just saw Andrew Chen take the second game over Natasha.
You see here, Felix is taking his time, and I think just compiling himself before the start of that point.
Yeah, and rightfully so. The worst thing you can do as a player who's frustrated is try to play a point too quickly.
Rushing into things.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And Ling is first to 5 as the players switch sides off of a powerful rally cross-court.
You can see from the side camera at the table just how tricky those serves are, how fine movements really determine what spin is placed on the ball.
Wow, wide from the table. That's tough to get, and Ling unable to touch the ball.
Yeah. You can hear the Texas crowd in the audience really amping up Felix right now.
If he can get another shot like that, get the crowd cheering, perhaps let that crowd unsettle his opponent. There we go, and you can hear him celebrate as the score draws closer to even.
And he's tied it up 5-5 right now.
And Texas gets louder.
Oh. Great point from Felix as he keeps blocking that ball. Let's see that slow-mo again. Great block there.
And that's the Felix we saw in the first 2 games. Calm, collected, no unnecessary movements, forcing his opponent to make the mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Andy, if you were Ling's coach, would you opt for a timeout at this point in the match?
Yes, I would definitely would. I would not let Felix get amped up and build up his momentum. As we can see right now, especially with this Texas crowd in the audience, he does have home field advantage.
Definitely.
And I also feel that, you know, once he has that crowd and that momentum building, he can become unstoppable. Right now would be a really good time to call that timeout.
And it's moments like this that it's so beneficial to have that coach in the corner.
Yeah.
A player caught up in the moment doesn't always recognize at 7-5. It would be useful to call a timeout, calm myself down as opposed to letting him continue that momentum and now pull ahead to a 9-5 lead.
Yeah. And again, you can see that calm collectiveness, and that's really giving him that lead right now.
As we have match point, 5 match points to Felix. I'm very impressed with how he was able to collect himself, settle down.
If you notice, that was 7 straight points from Felix that he came back. He was originally down 3-5, and now he's up 10-5. in the 5th game. The best thing for Felix right now is to stay mentally strong.
But Ling isn't going down without a fight.
No, he's not.
As he takes that point. Again, controlling that placement with his backhand, as he's done a good job doing throughout this contest.
3 match points.
You can see the neck cam view there. And there we have it.
Yep.
Felix of Texas takes the win for his team, 11-7 in the 5th game over Ling Yang of McGill. And at the same time, we can see match point on table 2 to Texas's Andrew Chen.
Yeah. I will say that was a great, almost of a comeback from Ling, as he was down 2 games and came back to